it's hard for me to read the newspaper or watch local news, because often people that make those kinds of things see that as an opportunity to tell us terrible stories. Specifically, I'm going to tell one specific one about, and I read this several years ago.
Or not. But why would they do that? Why would the news want to direct you to troublesome, uncomfortable stories? What do they believe about you that makes that work for them? In other words, does the news guide the vibration of the planet, or does the vibration of the planet guide the news? If the news were accurate to the vibration of the planet, every day you'd turn on your television and there'd be a little zit go across the screen, and you'd say, what was that? And you'd say, that was all the bad news that's happening all over the world in comparison with the good news. Proportionately, just the fact that your sun came up today is worth everything else all put together. In other words, your planet is spinning in its orbit in perfect proximity with other planets. In other words, well-being is huge. So what is it about the newscasters? Who are they tapping into? They're tapping into the worrisome, fearful. They're counting on a large number of people being down there on that vibrational part of the scale, where they are worried about things that they need to be guarded from or guided against. And so what part of you are they playing to? If they were playing to the part of you that is us, they wouldn't say hardly anything that they usually say. In other words, those presentations do not attract our attention at all. So the question is, if you are drawn to it, what's going on in your vibration? What makes that a match for you?
I just want to get to... Okay, it's really awful. For example, an infant, an 8-month-old
Now
infant.
you're going to go there, aren't you?
Please.
Why would you torture us and make us go there? Why do you want to go there?
Because I need to know about the nature of pain for people that don't have the opportunity to, at least I can't understand if they don't have the consciousness and they have no control over their surroundings, and they're born to really bad situations. Not even just human infants.
But before you go further, you've got to understand that this non-physical vantage point from which you made the decision to come forth, do you think you are not knowing the environment into which you would be born? Right. In other words, do you think everyone chose a feathered nest? No one chose a feathered nest. Really? Those of you who are feathering nests are annoying those energies coming forth. No one chose a feathered nest. Some of these energies come forth and they are born into these beautiful houses and these beautiful neighborhoods with everything all decided for them. And they say, hey, what's going on? I thought this was an environment of diversity. I thought there would be contrast here for me to sharpen my teeth on and put lots into my vibrational escrow. In other words, now we know you're talking about one extreme and we're sort of playing with you about another. But we want to get your attention. None of you come forth into an environment without knowing what the environment is. And none of you come forth expecting or wanting someone to have cleaned everything up. Not one of you said, I'll come forth, but first get everything all smoothed out and then I'll just come forth and look around. Every one of you said, I'll come forth and from this I will put things in my vibrational reality. And when you think about it, think about the magnificent people that you have met or that you have heard about. And then listen from their point of success, listen to the stories that they so often tell about their beginnings, and realize that in those beginnings that you now would say, I would not choose for myself or anyone, from those beginnings, they put things into their vibrational reality that if they had not been put into vibrational reality, this person could not now be living the magnificence of what they lived. Now we're going to give you the answer to your question, and you're going to feel it fully here without going into the gory details of the question that you are pointed upon. So hear this. You're really going to like this. So do you follow us as we say that you are source energy even while you are here?
Yes.
And do you follow that this life experience is causing you to know what you don't want and causing you to send out rockets of desire that are going into your vibrational reality, and that the source within you is maintaining and becoming the vibrational equivalent of each and every desire that you are setting forth. Does that make some sense to you? We know it's conceptual, that it's sometimes hard to get your thoughts around, but you follow the scenario of all of that. So here you're standing, and let's say you've been living contrast, which caused you to put a lot of wonderful things into your vibrational reality. Now hear this. That was true on the day you were born. On the day you were born, there were all kinds of wonderful potentials in your vibrational reality that were not currently being manifested. In other words, that were set into motion even before you actually got here in your physical body. All kinds of magnificent things waiting for you to vibrationally catch up with. And now we're telling the story that you're adding to it, adding to it, adding to it. So it is a common thing for everyone to have a vibrational reality or a potential that's far more exhilarating and magnificent than what they are currently living. Everything that becomes manifested was vibration first. So that's just the basis of where we're going next. We can feel that you get all of that. So now, let's say you're standing here having lived contrast. But you're still aware of the contrast as you stand here. So now as you look at that contrast, like the contrast you were talking about, you say, why in the world would anyone put up with that? Something's gone wrong in the heavens. Something's gone wrong with the creator of all of this. Why would they set it up this way? When you're standing in your now reality, in the absence of what you want, this contrast looks bleak and unwanted. That's why we start with that question every seminar. Are you enjoying the contrast of your time and place? People say yes, but most don't mean it. But if you could, by virtue of the thoughts you're thinking, by virtue of the mantras you're offering, the affirmations you're offering, the processes that you're offering, if you could get over there into your vibrational reality, into that vortex, even before the manifestations have occurred, when you get over there vibrationally and you look back at that contrast, every bit of it looks sweet. Every bit of it, you say, oh boy, bless that, bless that, bless that bad experience, bless that one, because that equals this, and this is good, you see. So the whole key to all of this is you got to jump over into this vortex vibrationally. You've got to take the emotional journey first. The physical journey will follow once you take the emotional journey. So the answer to your question is, once you have reemerged back into non-physical, we promise you not one of you will hold one regret for anything that you lived, and not one judgment against anyone else who lived anything either. Without the variety, there could not be choices, and without the choices, there could not be expansion, and without having chosen and expanded, there could not be the exaltation of all of that. It's just every bit of it, no matter how bleak it looks to you from where you stand, every bit of it worth it, every bit of it worth it, every bit of it worth it, every bit of it worth it. Now that is the ultimate of making peace with where you are. You see. So we know there are a lot of people who would think that you're a crazy person when you're witnessing something awful and you're trying to find the positive aspects in it. And we say, you have no choice. You can't control what others are doing. And if looking at what they're doing makes you feel sick, then you're using what they're doing as your excuse to rip yourself apart from who you are. And then you're just wallowing in disconnection, using that as the excuse. You could do something different. You could accept that as part of a valuable contrast and tune yourself to what's over here. And before you know it, the contrast that you live, even the contrast that you have access to, is a whole other set of contrasts, you see. Mm-hmm. We don't like bad things to happen to people, and we don't like to see people in pain. But we would never eradicate unwanted things from this planet, because you can't start trying to control the components of the palette. Free will exists. What we're here about is teaching you how to tune to the best of life, you see. And if there isn't the worst of life, how do you even know what the best of life is? And if there isn't the worst of life, how do you even create the best of life? You can't. Without that comparative experience, that's the framework of the time-space reality. That's what it gives you. It gives you the dimension in which to guide, you see. And so God, that which man calls God, expands from that platform. Good time for a segment of lunch.